In the track behind us, the Australian team are filing in for their final practice session before the huge second Ashes Test match here tomorrow morning. Bharat, we had some news today which we weren't necessarily expecting 24 hours ago. James Pattinson, the Victorian fast bowler, will not play at Lords. The longer-term condition of his body is being prioritised. They're not going to play him in back-to-back Test matches.
Big surprise. We got the news together off Twitter, and neither of us expected. I don't think Pattinson himself expected not to play at Lords, because the way he bowled at Edgbaston, it was an outstanding comeback to Test cricket. Though in his latter spells he did struggle a little in the second innings, but it was you just thought that Australia would want to play him while he's fresh and ready. Tim Payne did say that he was available for selection, but they're just resting him now because even from before the series started, they decided it was either this or Leeds because there's no break in between.
In terms of who will be in the 12, or who is in the 12 rather, Josh Hazlewood and Mitchell Starc will be duking it out for what seems to be one spot in the absence of Pattinson. Hazlewood was the best of the Australian bowlers at the tour game you were at last week at Worcestershire. Starc was a little bit wayward at times, but this pitch has suited Mitchell Starc historically, albeit with the white ball. It's a tough call.
It is a very tough call, but I think they would still want to go with Hazlewood. They've spoken so much about the 2004 tour of India. Justin Langer was on it when they beat India after many, many years, and it was all about control and discipline. And when they've spoken so much about it, Mitchell Starc, just on the basis of how he bowled in Worcester, he did leak runs against a very substandard batting lineup. He couldn't dismiss the tail as well. He bowled a couple of fiery spells, but he didn't look at his best, and Australia wouldn't want to risk Mitchell Starc and leak runs after they seem to have come here with a plan and it's working. Hazlewood would be my man, but you never know.
We heard from Tim Payne at his press conference talking about the longer term strategy around James Pattinson and how they're looking to set up tomorrow here at Lords.
Yeah, well, nothing new, nothing that we sort of haven't already spoken about. I guess we're really happy, as I've said, pre-series with the group of fast bowlers we've got at the moment. We think in all conditions, all of them can play a really important role in this series, but we've spoken to that group of bowlers about making sure that we have that core group of bowlers going forward for the next 2-3 years. They're all still quite young in age, so and in James's case in particular, he's come back off a really long layoff, a really serious operation. And we want to make sure that he's cherry ripe for the next 3 or 4 years. So I think what we've done in the past with James is got him back. We know how good he is, so we keep using him and keep bowling him, and eventually he's broken again. So we're really lucky in the fact that we've got 2 bowlers in particular on the sidelines that are world class, and we want to make sure that James is absolutely cherry ripe every time he plays. He's available for selection, but we've decided to rest him for this game and make sure that his long-term future is in really good shape.
But for England's part, it looks like there's 2 positions and 3 players vying for it. The left-arm orthodox spinner, Jack Leach, has been brought into the side for Moeen Ali. Sam Curran, who was in the squad and didn't get into the side at Birmingham, but we know how effective he can be in English conditions, swinging the ball around and also making runs down the order. And the third player in that 3, of course, is Joe Denley, the veteran number 4, who has yet to really make his mark at Test level. But it sounds like they're going to wait till the very last minute based on this pitch behind us.
It could be like what they did last year with when India played here, because there was not much play on day one. If it was a play at all, I'm not sure. So there's no point of picking a 11 today when you don't know how the weather is going to be, what's going to happen with the toss. So I think England are playing it safe, and it's fair enough as well. But I think it would be a mistake if they do not play Sam Curran. I know there's all this hype about Jofra Archer, but Sam Curran, like we spoke about yesterday as well, he could be someone who could trouble Steve Smith, and Joe Root has come on record and said that it was a captaincy mistake. He didn't attack Steve Smith as much as he should have in that second innings in particular, so he is going to come up with different plans. So as much as they need Jofra Archer to provide that pace and venom, they would want Sam Curran swinging it back in, just providing something different for Steve Smith. And also, like you said, he's going to bring in so much more depth because that middle order is struggling. Butler's not scoring runs, Bairstow's not scoring runs, so you need someone there. And will that mean they won't play a spinner? So be it. Joe Denley, I thought, was was the best spinner that England bowled or used in Edgbaston.
That was a really interesting answer from Joe Root, talking about his captaincy last week, and that man, they have to find a way to dismiss Stephen Smith.
Look, I think Steve's got to start again this week, as do everyone else. He's obviously played very well last week at Edgbaston, but I feel like we created a lot of good chances or close chances last time around, especially in the first innings when that ball was moving around, and we've got to make sure that, if anything, maybe just stick to our plans a little bit longer, trust that they're going to work, and be nice and patient.
In closing, the one thing we don't want to talk about, but we have to talk about, the weather. It isn't raining yet, but throughout the last few days we've had heavy storms, then periods of dry. It's dry at the moment, as you can probably see, but the forecast is awfully dodgy.
Especially for tomorrow. So someone did ask Joe Root whether he will prepare for it, almost a 3.5 day test, but you obviously can't. He said you go in with an open mind, but that's what you expect every captain to stay. But like the rain looks like it's going to play a big role. We might even not leave like London and go to Leeds like with a result in this game. That's how bad the weather forecast is, but that would be a pity. But knowing the conditions and knowing how fragile both batting lineups are, if you leave Steve Smith out, 3.5 days might be enough to finish a test match. So
one way or another, let's hope we get on tomorrow and get plenty of cricket at headquarters this week. Cricbuzz.